So you've told people that you started going to the gym and it's been a couple weeks, and the number one question that's always going to pop up is, how much do you bench? And you're thinking, can I tell you how much I squat? And they're going to be like, no, we want to know how much you bench. And today's episode, we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get your bench going from here up here, from here to here. Let's get to it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Gym Survival Guide, where we talk all things gym and fitness related. I'm your host, David, and on today's episode, we're going to be going over the tips and tricks for everybody's favorite movement. Whether you're up north, down south, to the east, or to the west, it's always going to be the same lift, bench press. It is everybody's go-to when it's asking how long you've been lifting and how much can you lift. It's ubiquitous with anybody and everybody that's ever lifted. You know, you're that one uncle who said I used to bench 405 back in the day and doesn't somehow look like he used to. Well, today we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get you on that road. Whether you're barely able to do the bar, you're at 225 or 315, these tips are going to help you get to the next level. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and demonstrate to you a proper bench setup and all, and then we're going to break down the steps and the cues to get you into a better bench today. Let's get to it, y'all. All right. Nothing says fitness like laying down. And push your palms away. Push your palms away. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that bench tutorial. It took me years to be able to pick up all these tips and tricks. For the first 5 years, I couldn't even really get past 135, and it took me another 2 or 3 years just to be able to touch 185, almost to 225. So all these things I'm going to be sharing with you today has been my last 15 years of working out to save you some time, save you some tears, save you some sweat, to be able to go from where you're at to be able to hit 225 a lot sooner than 8 years. All right. So first thing that we want to figure out is your bar height. So when you lay down and you get into your position, and we'll go over position in a little bit, I want the J hooks to get to the point where effectively when you go to lift out and you're not being pulled out of position just to get it out of the J hooks, it should almost glide right over the lip. And this will be really helpful if you have somebody who's giving you a lift off in a spot. That way they don't pull you out of position and you don't have to reset or anything like that. It just makes everything so much easier. All right. Now, when we go for our setup, what we want to be able to do is pinch in our shoulder blades and depress our shoulders. You know, kind of like their early 2000s emo band. You just want to make sure that they are like not super depressed, but depressed enough to where you can get some use out of it. And so the reason why we do these two cues is so that way when we lay down on our bench, our shoulder, which is one of the more mobile joints in the entire body, doesn't run risk of like popping out of socket or anything like that. But also with transference of energy, you know, nerd talk and all that, you can push from the bench in a solid foundation to the bar. You know, when you look at the squat and the deadlift, we have the benefit of our energy transference starting from the ground up. We have a firm foundation. So we have to almost manufacture that in the bench by doing those two steps first with our shoulders to be safe, but also to have a more efficient bar path. We've already established our bar height and we got our shoulders pinched in and all that good stuff. The next step we're going to have to figure out is our hand placement. So this is what I'm going to ask you. Are you benching for overall chest development and strength, or are you more concerned with developing your triceps over your chest? The reason why I ask is because you have two placements that you could typically go to. You could either do wide grip, which for me is pinky finger on the ring of the barbell, and that will be more chest or pec oriented. Or you can do, for again, close grip, for me, it's the first knuckle of your thumb on the crease where the smooth of the bar and the knurling meet, and this will be more tricep focused. It will still work out your chest just fine, don't get me wrong. I actually prefer close grip bench myself It's just more comfortable for me. But out of the two goals that you, or out of the two areas that you want to develop, which one's more for you? But also, it does depend on what overall comfortability is for you as well. Um, I will say this: if you're on the smaller side, closed grip can be a bit of a more bit of a challenge, just because of the overall bar travel. It's a lot more than if you're a thick boy like me. We have a much meatier torso, so a lot less bar travel. So just kind of play with it, figure out your preference. Can't really go wrong. As long as you're benching and you're benching safely, that's all I care about. So now that we got our hand placement, we're going to go ahead and bring the, what we're going to do next, not bring the bar out, wow. Uh, what we're going to do is externally rotate our shoulders to engage our lats. And now what I want you to think about when you do this is you're Superman and you're trying to bend a piece of steel. Okay? What this is going to do is in this motion right here, is it's going to engage your lats and give you another level of stability and foundation for when you're going down on the bar and pressing up. So it's just, again, everything that we're trying to do for the setup is give you a firm, stable foundation to be able to press up the strongest and most powerful way possible. Okay, so once you got your lats engaged, you're going to go ahead and bring the bar out in that order. And from here, you're going to go ahead and take in a big breath of air and build up your belly full. And you're going to build up what's called intra-abdominal pressure, IAP for short. And if you didn't watch my last video on the squat, I'm going to go ahead and link it somewhere here or here. And in that video, we do go over how to learn to cue the IAP. And if you have any questions, just go and check out that video. Okay, so once we get that IAP built up, now we're going to go ahead and start descending to bring the bar down. Now, what's really important, and the other reason why we engage our lats to bring that internal rotation, is when you bench, contrary to what you see in magazines, videos, or in the gym with your average bro, you do not flare out your elbows to bench. That's more what's called a guillotine press, and that is where you see a lot of significant injury when it comes to ripping your pecs. Now, we are trying to tear up our pecs a little bit to get that adaptation, but we're not trying to rip it off the bone. I don't want to, give you the inspiration to like become full in your chest and then you just rip your boob right off. That makes no sense. So what we're going to do instead of flaring our elbows out, again, because we're internally rotating by trying to bend that bar, it's going to already manufacture the angle that we want the elbows to be in, which is more of a 45-degree angle to your body, which will look right here. Boom, boom. And so this will keep your chest in a more safe position. Now, you would think that because we're not flared out, we're not getting as deep of a stretch. Couldn't be more opposite. So because we are more in here, we can actually go deeper on the bar path and get a stronger stretch position at the bottom, still allowing for really great pump and ultimately muscle growth. Okay, so we're going down onto your body. What I don't want, again, this is already going to happen because of the way we have our elbows, but you're not going to come to above your nipple line. You're going to be just below to right about here, so about mid-sternum. And that's going to be the most advantageous place for you to be able to bench safely, but also be the most powerful. And if you were to look at the bar path going down, it's not going to go in a straight up and down. It's actually going to go at a weird little curve. So we go, boop, boop. Okay. And so when you're down here, what you're going to want to do is you're still holding in that intra-abdominal pressure. You're going to explode up, and you're going to go release that air and have as much power behind it as possible. Now, there's a little bit of an advanced technique on the bottom position before you press, well, rather as you press, that I'm still learning to master. It's called leg drive. So regardless if you're leg driving or not, you want both your feet on the ground. I like to have flat-footed, but you can have it to where the front of your feet is what's on the ground. Doesn't really matter unless you're in a specific powerlifting federation. Okay, but what leg drive is effectively is when you're locked into your bench, you're doing effectively a leg extension, driving your traps into the bench as you're pressing up. So it's giving you that extra thrust, hence the name leg drive. So then we're popping it right up. We're, okay, good, congratulations. That's your completed rep. And you got a few more. If not, you're just going to re-rack it and you're going to call it a day. But if you follow these tips, you should have a much safer time benching, but you should also see your bench go up a few pounds. All right. Now, if you've gotten any value out of this video, I do hope that you like, comment, subscribe. But more importantly, if you know anybody who is looking to start lifting or is learning how to perform the bench press, please share this with them. Bring them into the community, make them a fellow survivalist. That way we can grow this channel to help as many people as possible. Now, after learning how to bench, if you don't have a program that you're already utilizing, but you're just kind of winging it, going and playing it by ear, I do have an offer for you down below. It's a free PDF for you. It's a pretty beginner-friendly plan that does allow for muscle growth as well as strength. So if you don't have a program, please click the link down below and get it today. But until next time, y'all, the set is yours. Peace.
Hold me close till I get up.